Man, Kendall and Don, thank you so much for having me. And I love partnering with Protect Wealth and with you guys because it's like a counterpart to like two sides of the same coin. I build wealth. I love building wealth. You guys protect wealth. So it's literally the perfect strategy. And this year, I kid you not, I called or 2023 November, I called my accountant. I said, "How much am I going to owe in taxes?" He says, "A lot." I was like, "Oh no, I got to protect my wealth better." So all that to say, I'm so glad to be here, part of Protect Wealth. But I love the idea of building wealth and then making sure that we can actually hold on to that wealth because I believe with real estate investing, I'm honestly, literally proof that this actually happens. I was literally dirt poor. My family was poor. I lived in a two-bedroom, one-bathroom house, had very little money, if not no money at all. But then, because, just from hard work, but then started investing in real estate. And real estate changes your life because of passive income. So I'm so glad to be here. And so, do you want me to jump into the
Yeah, please
our
jump on
workshop
in.
right now?
Yeah, no, super excited. Yeah, go ahead and take control of the screen there. You've got full control. Let me make sure I'll stop share so you've got control there.
Awesome.
Uh,
So let me jump into. So I created a little PowerPoint, and I'll warn you that I've created this in a PC, and I just switched over to Mac. So if there's a little quirks in it, please be a little more understanding
it looks
of
good. It
actually
looks
real life.
good. It works. It'll work.
Yeah,
And you
so it's
want to
going to
do
work out
questions
great.
at the
But
end, right?
yes, definitely,
Okay.
everybody, you're going to have lots of questions because what we're going to go through is a lot of really just a lot of information. It's going to feel like drinking from a fire hose. You're going to have questions. Put them in the question and answer area. And then afterwards, we can go through all your questions. Now, I want to walk you through how to invest in real estate, but also we could talk about interest rates being high, prices being high, how to invest successfully now. And I started investing back in 2006. Even though there was a crash in 2008, I still made money. In fact, I make money if the market goes up, if the market goes down, or if the market goes sideways. So I want to help you to learn how to basically build a six-figure automatic business in your spare time with a full-time job. I did that. I'm going to show you how to do that too. And as Kendall introduced me, my name is Dustin Heiner. I'm the founder of Master Passive Income and the Master Passive Income podcast, YouTube channel, all that good stuff. And it's literally the podcast is me just giving away loads of content. It's about 80% is just my own solo content teaching how to do this. Because as I was quitting my job, I realized I had extra time and I had so many friends and family members asking me how to invest. And so I would teach all of my friends and family how to do it. And then I realized I enjoyed it and I had free time. So fast forward, I just love giving out all this free stuff from the YouTube to podcasts. So definitely check that out. And same thing with having on this workshop. Just literally want to give this away for free so that you can invest. Now, let me walk you through a couple things. So, we're looking at right now high interest rates as well as high prices, but there are keys that you need to learn in order to invest successfully so that you do not lose money, that you make money every single month, and then you are successful in creating generational wealth. So, this is my wife and four kids. And praise the Lord, my wife is now pregnant again. There's going to be an 11-year gap between the fourth and now the fifth, but we're blessed to travel the world. And honestly, like it's amazing to have financial independence. And this is what I want to share with you. And that's why I said I personally love building wealth. Okay, let me tell you a quick little story about a 4 minute mile. Now, in the history of all recorded time, there is nobody that has ever run the 1 minute or a mile in under 4 minutes. So the 1 mile, when they're running, usually for the history of the world, it's always been over 4 minutes. Well, I'm going to tell you a quick story. So, in all of recorded history, it's never happened where they broke a 4 minute mile. Well, there's a man on May 6th, 1954. Roger Bannister broke the 4 minute mile barrier by running in 3 minutes and 59 seconds, point four. And so he barely beat it. And for all of recorded history, it never happened. And then it happened. It was amazing. You see news articles, hey, it's finally broken. It was a big deal. Nobody had ever done before. Then the sub-minute, 4 minute mile is done, broken. Now, can it be done again? They started asking, how long would it take before someone else does it too? And even though no one had ever broke the 4 minute mile before Roger Bannister did, another person did it too. Now, here's the Roger Bannister, picture of Roger Bannister and John Landy. So, the second person to break the 4 minute mile, remember, in all of Horror Quarter history, it's never been never done. So, thousands of years. Then it happens, and then John Landy beat Roger Bannister by running a mile in minutes and 57 seconds, 0.9. That's 1.5 seconds faster than Bannister. And it was on June 21st of 1952, just 46 days after Bannister. So it's basically, it's proven. He proved that it could be done. So the 4 minute mile was broken again. And since then, over 1,400 other men broke that 4 minute mile. And that just proves that as soon as somebody shows you that it's absolutely possible for you to do something, you realize it's possible, that you can do it, and then you do it yourself. Now, I want you to be thinking to yourself, what one person can do, another can do. Now, I invest in real estate. I did it, and I'm honestly not that smart. I mean, I got a education and college education and everything, but it's really not that hard once you learn the steps and you learn how to do it. So remember, what one person can do, another can do, and I'm going to show you how you can do it as well. Now, let me quickly give you my 4 minute mile experience. A lot of people know who this guy is. This guy is Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. Blew my mind that there's something called passive income. So amazing. Instead of working for somebody else, and that's active income, work 1 hour, get paid for that hour. Instead, create passive income, work one time and get paid over and over and over again. So he is my 4 minute mile, running after him. And so here's my experience. So with Robert Kiyosaki, he took 2 years off from doing any work after he made enough money to quit his job. And when I say job, which I'll give you that in just a second, what job means, it's a job, but by building passive income businesses. Now, here's my 4 minute mile. So 2 months after I got married, I gave myself a deadline. That's my beautiful wife there. I gave myself a deadline. So on June 6th, 2007, that was actually my birthday, I made a decision to quit my job by investing in real estate within 10 years. I said, this is a deadline. I'm cutting burning the bridges, and we're not turning back. So the deadline. So praise the Lord, December 16th, 2016, I officially quit my job to live the life of my dreams. We love to travel. That's my wife and myself and my kids. We all do that. Now, what does JOB stand for? It's a job, but what does JOB stand for? Well, it stands for just over broke. You're working literally just over broke if you're working a job, because you're working for somebody else. The value that you have in yourself is going to somebody else. They're making money on you. Trust me when I say this. Nobody can ever pay you what you are worth. You are worth so much more than anybody can ever pay you. And when you put the value that you have into your own businesses, your own investing, protecting your wealth, you will do so much better. And so I want you to know, when you're working at dead end job, you're working and you're automatically signed up for a 40x3 plan. The 40x3 plan is you work 40 plus hours a week for 40 plus years of your life, and then retire on 40% of what you struggled to live on that entire time. Now, here's a big question. I had to ask myself this too. Why? What is your why for investing in real estate, for building wealth, and for protecting wealth? Now, could it be to travel the world, to buy that new car that you always wanted? Could it be to never look at the price when you're eating out at restaurants, or never worry about any bills again? It is so amazing when you have that feeling like, here's a bill, we have the money, let's pay for it. We don't have to worry about the next bill that comes in. So, what does your ideal life look like? Think this in your head. What does your ideal life look like? Does it look like what does a perfect day look like to you? And what would you do with your time if you never needed to work again? You have 40 plus hours of your life back to you, so you can spend it however you want. And what are the most important things to you? Now, would you love to have more time, money, control, and freedom in your life? I did. That is the reason why I started investing in real estate, because I needed and wanted more of these things, especially control over my life and freedom. Now, promise me this. So, all the things I'm going to teach you today, I want you to promise me that you're going to use these powers for good and not for evil. Jokingly, like this is Dr. Evil from Austin Powers, but jokingly, but I'm trying to help you to understand that I want you to also give back. Give because you receive. Once you achieve that financial freedom, promise me you're going to start using that for good. Now, I'm going to give you a quick results disclaimer, just like Kendall did at the beginning. This is absolutely not a get rich quick scheme. I'm telling you, if you think that's what you're here for, it's probably not going to be best for you. This is a get wealthy plan. What I'm going to be doing is sharing you what worked for me and countless others. In fact, I've got hundreds, if not thousands, of students now that I coach to invest in real estate, and they are successful real estate investors. And these results are specific to each person. And this does take time and effort. But remember, this is a get wealthy plan. And also, you want to also remember what one person can do, another can do. You can absolutely do this. If you have one property to 10 properties to 30 properties, you can grow and get bigger and better. I love helping people who don't have any properties get their first property, as well as if they have 10 properties to scale to 30, 100, even more properties. Okay, so let me give you the plan to a six-figure real estate rental property business. I invest in residential, 4 units and below. And in here, on this webinar, on this workshop, there's not one person on this webinar that I could not help build a six-figure business with real estate investing and rental properties. Every single person. You might be thinking, well, what about me in this situation or that situation? Yes, I can help you do that. Now, I want you to make a commitment with me. I want you to commit that as soon as I know, think this to yourself, as soon as I know that rental properties and real estate investing are the key to a six-figure automatic business, I will go all in. I want you to go all in and say, I'm going to make the decision to actually do this, because if you have a goal without action, you'll never achieve this goal of financial freedom, creating a six-figure automatic business. You need to take action and go all in. Now, what does going all in look like? Well, Christmas lights. These are not, this is not going, it kind of look like my house. This is not going all in. This looks like going all in. And this doesn't necessarily look like all in, but this guy, he is all in. You're jumping in. This guy's kind of limping in. If you've ever played poker, he's kind of, going a little bit in. This guy is all in. Like, he is all in. I want you to have that in your mind. You're all in, because the people that make that commitment to themselves to go all in, they're the ones that actually succeed, who are investing in real estate. Now, let me give you the 6 ways that rental properties, that real estate, when you buy one rental property, how it makes you money. Number 1, cash flow. Monthly cash flow that goes into your pocket. That means you calculate all your expenses, mortgage, taxes, insurance, property manager fees, repairs, vacancy factor. You calculate all those, and then you subtract that from the total amount of rent that you could rent the property for. And I'll get into how much and how to do all this sort of stuff in just a minute, just giving you a broad overview. But that difference between your income and expenses is your passive income. I suggest making $250 a month in passive income from every single property that you buy. I started back in 2006, and whether the market went down, up, or sideways, I made money, because I did not invest for appreciation. I invest for cash flow. Next one is equity capture. This is the 6 ways. When you buy your property, you capture equity when you buy the property. Let's say you buy, I'm gonna give you round numbers. You buy the house, and you're looking at this house, and the value is $200,000, but you offer $175,000 and they take it. Well, you just captured $25,000 in equity when you bought the property. 200,000 minus 175,000 is $25,000 in captured equity and money that's in your pocket. And we could then later on, I could show you how to use this extra money to buy more properties. Next one, forced appreciation. You make your money when you fix up the property. You put in $5,000 worth of materials and work, and then hopefully it's going to go up $10,000 or $15,000. Like, make it compounding on top of that, so you force the appreciation up more than you put the money into it. Next one, market appreciation. You make money over time. We know just over time, the values of homes go up. We absolutely know that. And in fact, the last, 3 years, the values have gone up 50, 75%. Like, it's just literally skyrocketed. Over time, it will go up. Now, there'll be fluctuations, but if you hold on to these properties over time, you'll be making money in cash flow. And like I do, I'm literally giving these properties to my kids. If you could see the kids in my background in the screen, I have 4 kids. My wife's pregnant with our 5th. We are literally going to give these properties to our kids in generational wealth. Now, next one, mortgage buy down. Love this. Now, I don't pay my mortgage on my properties. In fact, I don't pay my taxes. I don't pay my bank, property manager. I don't pay for repairs. My tenants pay for that. Same thing with your mortgage. When you have a mortgage, let's say you buy the house, put a down payment down, the rest of that balance, the hundreds of thousands of dollars and the interest, taxes, insurance, everything is paid for by the tenants. And then over time, that mortgage gets paid all the way down, and then you have that property free and clear, and you have all that equity in there. Tax advantages. I love tax advantages. In fact, you're probably on here because you probably have one or two properties, or you're really wanting to. Protecting wealth is amazing when you figure out how to save your money on taxes, 1031 exchange, create a business, tax deductions. Depreciation is amazing. If you don't have depreciation and you have earned income, get depreciation. That's going to help you a ton. Okay, quickly going over the 6 ways: cash flow, equity capture, forced depreciation, market appreciation, mortgage buy down, and tax advantages. Now, I'm going to tell you, I talk really fast because this excites me. I apologize. It talks really, because a lot of people say, hey, Dustin, you talk too fast. Well, Kendall's going to have a replay. So if you need to have a replay, you're going to be able to get that as well, so you can watch it all over again. Now, here is a proverb I love. You need to get this in your head, because when is the best time to plant a tree? Well, it was 20 years ago. The next best time, when is it? Well, it's literally today. You do not want to look forward 20 years from now and say, let's say 20 years from now, you're looking back, man, I was listening at an awesome workshop that Protect Wealth puts on. Protect Wealth puts on these great workshops. I was listening to one about real estate. I wish I would have invested 20 years ago. You do not want to be thinking that. You want to be thinking 20 years from now, I'm so glad I did what Protect Wealth and Master Passive Income said. I started investing in real estate, because here's the tip, or the key. Here's the key for everything. You do not wait to buy real estate. You buy real estate and then wait. Over time, instead of making $250 a month, you'll be making $500 a month, $600 a month. Rents just go up, values go up, mortgage gets paid down, so many great things. Okay, here is the path to 6 figures in real estate investing. And I'm going to tell you, when I said automatic, I'm literally meaning this is an automatic business. I hire experts. They do all the work for me. I don't do any work. And my tenants pay for those experts by the rent that I bring in. Okay, here's the path. Number one, you buy one property, makes you $250 a month in passive income. That is $3,000 a year without working. Get that in your head. I mean, $3,000 a year just for nothing. And you have other people doing the work. That's amazing. But it's super simple to scale it up. And I love helping people to scale up, but one of my favorite things to do. 10 properties is $250 a month. Minimum is $2,500 a month in passive income. $30,000 a year without even working. 20 properties is $5,000 a month in passive income. $60,000 a year in passive income. 20 properties. Oh my goodness. $10,000 a month in passive income, $120,000 a year without working. That's how you get to 6 figures and automatic. Now, I'm going to quickly give you how to get into automatic. But before I do, I'm going to show you the wrong way. Now, in 2006, followed those gurus. The gurus, you know, the ones, and I was watching TV late at night, because that's what you do when you're working a job. You just watch TV, go to work, watch TV, go to work. That's what I was doing. So I was watching TV late at night. A late night infomercial came on, and the guru said, come to this 2-hour seminar. We're going to teach you how to invest in real estate. It's free. I said, great. I ran to it, and I went there, and it was all hype, all sales pitch. And they said, now run to the back and go give us, it's normally $1 million, but it's $1,000 a day. I did that. And it was all hype in the sales pitch. So what I realized was I didn't have money to go this next $50,000 course, $60,000 course. But what I did was I took a little bit that they told me, and I did bought one property, and my property manager started stealing from me within 6 months. It was horrible because I followed the negative or the wrong things of what the gurus say. Now, I'm going to tell you the right way. And I figured this out because I'm a business owner, and I'm going to show you the right way. What happened was, after I figured out that my property manager was stealing from me, I said, there has to be a way to do this right. And so what I did was, and you'll hear me say this all the time on my podcast, the Master Passive Income Podcast, YouTube channel, in my coaching, I always say this over and over again. We build the business first. That is absolutely crucial, is that we build the business first. And I'll get into how this works out. But when you build the business first, that is when you are actually going to have experts do all the work for you. Now, before we get into building a business, let me give you the success roadmap, the investor success roadmap. I just made a quick acronym. So it spells out real, like in real estate. Very simple. You recognize the target rental market. Where in this country do you want to invest? We invest out of state. In fact, I think I invest in like 5 cities now. Yeah, 4 or 5 cities now and states. So we recognize a target rental market. We establish an automatic business. We approve others in our business to work for us to help us succeed. And then we lease the property for a minimum of $250 a month in passive income. But I'll tell you this, The easiest part is buying the property. Like, kid you not. In fact, a lot of my students, they'll start working with me. I start coaching with them. They said, Dustin, I found a great city to invest in. I already have 5 realtors sending me deals. I say, whoa, 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 stop, stop. Who's going to manage that property if you actually bought it? I said, I don't know. I said, well, we need to start by building the business. The property is the easiest part. The hard part is building the business. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It takes work. You're going to be calling people and interviewing people. You're going to want to make sure you build the right business with the right people. But building the business, once it's built, it's literally automatic. You can ask literally any one of my students. It's absolutely automatic. Usually, a student will start working with me. Before that, it'll take 2 years and they'll not buy any properties because they don't know how to do it. They start working with me. Within 1 to 2 months, they learn how to do it. They're already putting in offers and they get a property under contract within 3 months. And then that first property that they have, the second property usually comes within maybe 6 weeks at most, maybe a week, sorry, 4 weeks to maybe 6 weeks, 1 month to maybe 6 weeks. The second property comes because they built the business and people are sending them deals. They have lots of mortgage brokers. They have private money lenders. They have property managers. Oh, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. So let me get into more of how to actually do this. Now, let me give you the 6 secrets to real estate investing. The first one, like I said, we build the business first. We absolutely make sure that everything is going to work right in the business. And how that works is we find a good city. A city has good inventory for us to buy. Now, when we look at a business, we're not going to start a business in the middle of the desert where there's no inventory and nobody to buy any of our business. We're going to find a place that has good inventory where we can buy things and then sell them to customers that are there. Same thing with real estate investing. We find a city has good inventory. Now, here's Zillow. Recently pulled up a map. So in looking at this city right here, we're looking at these little red dots. In Zillow, if you've never been there, the little red dots are properties that are for sale. Well, does this look like I think it's Brownsville. Does it look like there's a lot of inventory in this city? No, it looks like very few properties. So if you built an entire business and could only buy 1 or 2 properties, you did a lot of work for a very little payoff. And on top of that, with very little properties, there's very few property managers, very few people in rent. So scratch that. We want to go to a place that has great inventory. Look at this one, Memphis, Tennessee. In fact, my students are investing a lot here. Lots of inventory, lots of fantastic inventory for you to buy. And I'll give you the criteria of what we're looking for. But all these properties, this is inventory. And there's lots of people that would rent our properties. And there's lots of property managers. There's lots of mortgage brokers, inspectors, plumbers, roofers, everything. So we build the business and make sure we have good city that has good inventory. Now, when we're building the business, we zone in, like we look in a little closer at this city. And I'm not telling you that this is the best area. I'm just saying this is an area. And even that, let's say I have an area. I'll give you another area that I invest in. I invest in Akron, Ohio. Well, my students will ask me, well, Dustin, in Akron, you're the expert. Tell me where's the best place to invest? I say, no, 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 no. I'm not the expert. I hire experts. Even though I have some information, I've learned about it, I just rely on them and what they tell me. So this is a fantastic city. As we zoom in, you're going to have a lot of great properties to buy. Now, you might be asking, what type of property do we need to buy for our inventory? Let me give you really easy cookie cutter type home. These are the types of homes that everybody either wants to rent or if you want to sell it, they want to buy them. Cookie cutter type homes, 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom, 2 car garage, 1,200 to 1,400 square feet. We don't want it too small that families don't want to live there. We don't want to make it too big where it's like extra walls to paint, extra floors to clean up and carpet. We want it to be a family house where, and I love this, we love families. Families don't move very often, and parents work in the area, so they don't really want to move, and their kids go to school in the area. Their lives are built around the area. We don't want tenants to move. We want tenants to stay in there for a long time. Okay, that's secret number 1, inventory and the cookie cutter type home. Secret number 2, hire experts in your city. You hire the experts that are going to do the work for you. Property managers, contractors, inspectors, mortgage brokers, plumbers, roofers, insurance agents, everybody in the business before you buy any inventory. That's right. Your property is not your house. It's your inventory. Keep that in your mind. When you hire these experts, what you're going to do is you're going to interview them. just like you're going to interview a manager of a business. Let's say you started a convenience store and this convenient, candy bars and soda machines. Well, you're not going to sign a lease on a location, open the doors, and set a box of candy bars in there on the ground. You wouldn't do that. You go out of business in 2 seconds. But what you would do is you would build the business first. You get the gondolas, or the shelving units, and all the candy bars go on, the countertops, code storage, bank accounts, cash registers, insurance, employees, everything in the business before you buy any inventory. Then you buy the inventory and put it in your business. Then you would never look at somebody walking across the street and say, hey, you got a pulse? Come in here, manage my business, manage my money, manage my inventory, manage my customers, manage everything. You wouldn't do that. What you would do is you would interview them. You would interview many of them before you even started business. Same thing. Now, I'm going to give you a quick tip. This is a huge tip in life and business, in real estate business. You want to hire slow and fire fast. Hire slowly, meaning you don't just take the first person across the street that has a pulse and say, come manage my business. No, what you do, you hire slow. Interview many, many people multiple times before you find what you believe is the right person that's actually going to be doing the work for you. Now, here is a list of, this is a short list, but there's a lot more outside of this, but I'm going to give you the quick ones that you need to have done before you buy a property. Do not buy a property before you have these. Number one, you're a property manager. You have to have that. That's your quarterback of your entire team. Mortgage brokers, insurance agents, property inspectors, contractors, handymen, tradesmen, wholesalers, realtors, title companies, and so many more people in the business. But what we do is before we buy a property, these are our experts and make sure we do it right. Now, let me show you one of my students. His name's Chad. And so he worked a full-time company full-time job, JOB, for the government. Sadly, he was diagnosed with cancer in 2016. It might have been a little earlier than that, but around 2016. And then he realized life was too short to work a job, because he might die. He's realizing that. He's got a wife and kids. And so he wanted to quit his job and spend more time with his family. Well, he started working with me, and I helped him to invest in real estate. He started investing in real estate in 2019. And jumped ahead. So yes, there we go. Started investing in 2019 and started buying property after property, making him $250 a month. Now, Chad is cancer-free. Praise the Lord. He's actually cancer-free, and he's doing really, really well. He has an automatic real estate investing business. He's on track to quit his job in 1 year, and now he literally lives his life to the fullest every single day. But it took this wake-up call to help him to wake up. My wake-up call was I literally got laid off. I was working in the government as well. And I got laid off after working there 12 plus years. I was like, nobody gets fired or laid off from the government, but I did. So with that, I made sure I started investing in real estate and didn't stop. Now, let me give you secret number 3. We utilize these experts to make sure that you are doing everything right. That is the number one thing, is we don't make any move in our business unless the experts who we are paying them for our success, they want us to succeed, because they succeed. They make money when we succeed. We don't do anything until they actually write off what we're going to be doing. So here we go. Property manager, number one person on your team. It's like your quarterback of your football team, football. So the quarterback is going to save you money. It's going to, help you to score, protect you. They're the commander. They're the captains, everything. This is your manager that's going to be taking care of everything. Now, I get students all the time that said, you know what, Dustin, I found a property manager after I did what those gurus told me to do. And that property manager told me I will not manage that property because I'll get shot there. Well, you no longer have an asset anymore. You have a liability. So what you do not want is be able to call up a property manager and say, hey, property manager, I have a house. Will you manage it? And they say no. That would be very bad. Hey, property manager, number 1 Happy Street. They say no, I'll get shot. That's now a liability. Instead of saying, I bought this house, how much better because you built the business, you call up a property manager and say, hey, property manager, you're the expert. I'm looking to buy this property, number 1 Happy Street. Will you manage the property? How much will it rent for? What's the vacancy factor on it? What type of clientele, and will you manage it? If they say, no, I will not manage it, well, you don't waste thousands of dollars and all your time buying a property that's going to be bad for you. Then if they say yes, then you have all the information and they're going to be ready to jump on this for you. Let me share with you one more student. His name's Chris. He lives in Alaska now. So Chris moved from Alaska to California sorry, backwards, California to Alaska to live the dream life. He loves fishing. And his wife wanted to be a stay-at-home teacher and homeschool their kids, but she couldn't. Then he also realized he's tired of paying rent, he's tired of living paycheck to paycheck, his wife working to make ends meet, and no time to spend with his newborn kid. Well, Chris took action. That's why I said, I want you to, when you make a commitment that you're going to go all in, he took action. You need to take action. So he saved up $5,000. And I kid you not, literally, that's all he did. We had some other creative ways that we got financing, private money and all the good stuff, but he saved up $5,000 and he bought this amazing duplex with this ocean view. So this is the view from his house. And he bought a duplex, had minor repairs on the place. He moved into the top unit and then rented out the bottom unit, and that tenant on the bottom unit is paying for the entire mortgage and he's making money on top of that. And this is his view from his front yard. So absolutely amazing. And this is something that anybody absolutely can do. Now, secret number 4, businesses are made to make money every single month. They're in business to make money. Now, when I first got started, the gurus were telling me, you want to invest for appreciation. Remember, this is 2006. They're saying, hey, market's going up all the time. You invest for appreciation. Well, the people that did that went bankrupt in 2008, 9, and 10. I made more money because my rents went up. People sadly were foreclosing. That made more renters, which then I was able to now have more tenants that could potentially move my property. Demand went up because the people needed a place to live. Now, you're in business to make money every single month. Let me give you an example of what that looks like. Let's say you had a candy bar. You knew that you can sell it every day, all day for $1, but you could buy it for 50 cents. Well, you would think, I'm going to buy as many candy bars as I could, and you'll make 50 cents every single time because you're making money. 50 cents minus $1, 50 cents. Now, here's the beauty about real estate investing. So amazing. Let's say you didn't even have that 50 cents and you needed 25 cents, or sorry, it costs you 25 cents to borrow that, what you needed, 50 cents. Well, that is 75 cents out of your pocket. And then you sell that candy bar for $1. 50 cents plus 25 is 75 cents. Sell it for $1. You're making 25 cents every single time. You'll be thinking, my goodness, how can I borrow more money to buy more candy bars? Because every single transaction, you're making money. Now, what you would not do, you would not buy it for $2, that candy bar, if you could only sell it for $1. You would lose $1 every single time you bought it and sold a candy bar. Why would you do that? You would not. Same thing with real estate investing. And it is so simple how to work out this math. It's your income minus your expenses. That is your profit. And for me, that's passive income of $250 or more. And remember, that's how we scale it up. 20 properties is $60,000 a year in passive income. And with that, we make sure that all these expenses are accounted for, and we know without a shadow of doubt how much we can rent the property for, because our property manager, the experts, are going to tell us, well, yeah, Dustin, this is this house. In fact, I have a property right around the corner, very similar. It rents for $1,400. Zillow said we can get $1,700 for it, but we couldn't. The most we can get is $1,400. Oh man, I'm glad I didn't take Zillow's word for it. I took my expert's word for it. Okay, secret number 5: creative financing using other people's money. OPM, other people's money. Love it. Now, a lot of people might be thinking, well, I don't have a lot of money, or it's tied up in here, or whatever, all these ors, why they can't invest. Well, I'll tell you right now, I've literally counted 15 different ways that I use to invest in real estate financially. Now, let me quickly go through these with you. Creative financing option. So all cash, obviously we know all cash, you could easily do that if you had all cash, but delayed financing is amazing. Let's say, and I did this with one of my students, he's a pastor up in Sacramento, didn't have any money, but he had a home. We tapped into that equity with a home equity line of credit, pulled out that cash, bought a house, and then refinanced that property, pulled that cash back out, put $30,000 into his pocket tax-free because it's a loan. They don't tax loans. And then paid off his home equity line of credit. Now he has a house with a mortgage on it with none of his own money. That's just one small example. He used a HELOC. You can seller financing, hard money, subject to, basically assuming the existing mortgage, private money, commercial loans, portfolio loans, blanket loans, signature loans, credit cards, cash out credit cards, an advanced strategy. I did that. I could show you how to do that too, but it's definitely an advanced strategy, and so much more. Now, that is how you can get financing. This is just the tip of the iceberg. I can give you so many more ways. Let me give you another secret. Secret number 6 is you automate this with systems, procedures, and processes. Now, I I don't want to work 40 hours a week. I don't want to work 4 hours a week like that book, The 4 Hour Work Week. Well, I don't even want to work 30 minutes a week. I maybe work 30 minutes a month on all my 30 plus properties and the hotels that I own and all these other things that I have, because all I have is other people doing the work for me. I get the property management statements, look at it and say, hey, everything's good, and put it aside. But I do this by creating systems and procedures and processes. Let me give you one quick one. Systems, procedures, and processes. We're getting, there's so much more there. But anyways, I want to make sure that you guys have time for questions. So we're getting to questions in just a minute. Systems, procedures, and processes. So here's a procedure, or basically a process that I give my property managers. Rent is due on the 1st. It's late after the 3rd. On the 4th, you give a 3-day notice. And obviously, every state, every city is going to be different. So you got to make sure that you're following those laws. But then after that 3-day notice is up, you give a late fee and you start the eviction process after that 3-day notice is up. Now, what's amazing about this, it is the most non-discriminatory way to run a business ever. You're literally treating every single person the exact same way, just like if you stop paying on your mortgage. Well, your bank, if you call them up and say, hey, bank, my son just got arrested for the 5th time. Would you not take my mortgage payment? Is it okay if I forego it this month? They'll say, absolutely not. Sorry, but we're going to have to start the foreclosure. Same thing. We do not take any excuses. It's sad. I apologize, but we're making this so non-discriminatory. Everybody's treated the same. But these are the systems and procedures and processes. There's so many more to go over. Now, we've covered a lot, but there's still so much more to learn, like how to find an area, country to invest, know what a good property looks like, what to look for in a property so you don't lose money, how to inspect the property so you don't buy a money pit, how to get financing to buy properties, who do you use to get and manage the properties, how do you make the business automatic, and more systems and procedures and processes, how to select the right tenant for the property that will pay off your mortgage, managing the team of professionals, and grow the business so you can quit your job. Now, this is what we used to have to do. This is literally what I did when I first got started. Buy a home close to where you live if it's not too expensive. Hope you buy a good property, fix up the property yourself, guess which tenant is going to not destroy your property, spend all your time running the business. It's sad. I did this and it's so much work, but there is a new way, a better way. And this is what I'm talking about, building the business. Now, in just a second, we're going to get in your questions answered. I know you guys have lots of questions, so put them in the question and answer area. We'll get to those in just a second. But I do have something I want to go over with you. I'm going to give you literally a special offer because I really love Protect Wealth so much. And they brought me on. They said, hey, I want you to take care of all these people coming on. I have this offer that I have for you guys. This is why, because I love building wealth and I love helping other people build wealth. My goal is to help 1 million people to invest in real estate and build wealth. I created the Real Estate Wealth Builders coaching and community. I will literally give you all my courses, group coaching where you're literally getting me with me and I'm coaching you, and the student success program where you're working with other coaches and other students. It's amazing. And so really quickly, the Real Estate Wealth Builders works for, remember, we build wealth, protects your wealth. Everyone who desires to invest in real estate. I kid you not. I've had people with $3,000 to $5,000 invest in real estate. Now, this is a complete A to Z coaching, training community for creating an automatic real estate investing business. And you're going to get all of these, all 6 of my courses, the group coaching and the mastermind of students. Now, I literally sell these and you're going to get a fraction. It's going to be a fraction of this price, but I have all these courses. These are literally on my site. You can buy them right now for these prices. And my flagship course, the masterclass, is $2,997. You can absolutely get all this for one extremely, like literally low price. Now, I'm going to give you, and if you, so Kendall, would you mind putting this inside either the chat or where you're going to put it? But here is the link to get 50% off of everything that I have. That's even at a fraction of the price. So I'm going to quickly go through it. So here's a limited time special just for Protect Wealth. And here's what you're going to get. So fast action bonus. If you do this like tonight, by the end of the night, it's probably going to go away. Hopefully on the recording, I might be able to get it, but fast action bonus, 15-minute coaching call with an MPI coaches. So we have 2 other coaches that are former students that now are coaches because they've done so well. You're also another fast action bonus, questions and answers with other Ultimate Real Estate Investing System. That's the name of the course. Students get those question and answers. Three of my best-selling books for it's $140 value, cost. You can literally buy those right now. And here's the big things that you're gonna get. Bonus number one for signing up today, 7-week guide to your first rental property. Bonus number two, all a vault of tools and forms and downloads and contracts and worksheets and everything that we use in our businesses. Bonus number three, real estate expert interviews. These are all these other experts, like from lawyers to accountants to all these sort of people. I interview them, and you're going to get access to all of them. You're going to get the Your First Investment course. That's a $700 value. Real estate foundation course, $500 value. Out of state investor course, $1,000 value. The advanced investor course, $1,500 value. Group coaching with me, a $4,000 value. And the mastermind student community, a $5,000 value. And the ultimate real estate investing system, my number one flagship course, the masterclass, that's $3,000. All this is over $20,000 if you were to buy each one of these separately. But because you're here, I'm literally going to make it so inexpensive for you. So it's normally $999 to join, and then $300 a month. So $1,000 to join and $300 a month. If you join through Protect Wealth right now, and I'm going to give you a promo code in just a second. If you join, I will literally cut it in half. So instead of $20,000, it's not even $1,000. It's to join. It's $499 to join, and then $149 a month just because you are on here. If you use the promo code Protect Wealth, that will give you 50% off everything that we have, all the courses, all the coaching, all the student community, the student success program, all that sort of stuff. I will literally give that to you, and I'll do even one more great thing. Look at the top right-hand corner. So I'm gonna give you the 90-day guarantee. I'm going to give you a 90-day guarantee on top of this as well. So my 90-day guarantee to you is, if you don't get your first property under contract within 90 days, we will work with you personally to get your first property under contract that makes you passive income every single month. I'll give that to you. You sign up through Protect Wealth, you get that. Also, I want you to remember that you want to go all in, commit, make the absolute commitment. I'll quickly go through this. Just don't need to read it all, but use the promo code Protect Wealth. And now I want to get through all your questions, because I know you guys have lots and lots of questions, but go through Protect Wealth, and I'll also give you that 90-day guarantee. So let's go through. Kendall, are you on? Would you mind helping me out with these questions?
Love it. I'm happy to ask them for you too, but no, hey, great offer, Dustin. I appreciate that. It's really neat for me to kind of see that. You explained to me previously what you do, but this is a super generous offer. We've had a lot of experience. I personally invest in real estate. I've had a lot of real estate over the years, out of state, otherwise. And I agree with everything you said. You have to have a team. Otherwise, you don't want to go and change the toilets and paint the walls and all that stuff. No, been there, done that. And it's cool for me because I see a lot of people who, we work with, and they have done a lot of wealth creation this exact way, by buying properties consistently and finding a team that helps you, because you don't want to be the guy doing all of it. What a great deal, Dustin. Thank you so much for that offer. Really, really appreciate that. That is in the chat screen. You can click the link, promo code Protect Wealth. Super generous. And I know Dustin's good with it because he really is helping people. That's his passion, to help. What do you say? Over 1 million people is your total mission, to help 1 million people achieve financial freedom, right?
That's my goal. My goal is helping 1 million people. I'm probably close to, I don't know, a couple, 2,000 or 3,000 people, because of all the people that I've coached now. And literally every single one of my students will look back and say, I'm so glad that I joined. I kid you not. In fact, I even created a conference because we had so many amazing students. It's called the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference. I love building wealth. And Don and Kendall are going to be there teaching about taxes and everything like that. And so I created a conference because we have so many people that are so realizing and have done this, where they're now investing, and we bring them all together. No sales pitches. It's literally a way to give back and to help more people.
That's pretty cool. And I know what you said to this. The cool thing about Dustin is he doesn't have to be doing this. It's because obviously you're very successful at real estate. Everybody asks you about it. This is a natural way for you to help others. Dustin, very appreciate this offer. Thank you so much. All right. You okay if we jump on into these?
Let's jump into the questions. Yeah.
Natalie, I'm a property manager, but only see my landlords lost money with repairs, evictions, insurance, rent commission, etc. A small profit with a lot of headaches. How do I believe in passive income for real estate? Good question, Natalie.
So, yeah, Natalie, that's great. So with buying the property, that's usually the first problem, or almost even like something that doesn't go right is you're not buying the property for the right price. Not saying you didn't. I'm just giving you a broad overview, giving you principles. So we want to make sure we buy the right property at the right price that makes us money and passive income, that everything's accounted for. Now, once you've done that, let's say you've already done that, and then you have a property manager that's really tedious or nickel and diming you, and your property's not being rented, you have evictions, like you're having problems. My first thought is two things. Number one, give your property manager the benefit of the doubt and really pull their feet to the fire, hold their feet to the fire, and say, what's going on? This got to get changed. Maybe they don't know. Maybe if they're incompetent, fire them. That's the second thought. Fire them right away. I literally, it was about 2 months ago, I fired my property manager. I had him for like 15 years, but he took his eye off the ball, meaning my property was not rented for like 8 months out of like, multiple properties that he had. It's like, what's going on? And they couldn't get it rented. So I fired him. My new property manager, because I vetted him out, successfully did well. And within a month, they got it rented. So fire the property manager as quickly as possible. And here's the reason why a property would not get rented. It's because of either the price is too high or the value for that price is not good enough for the tenant. So if they're not paying, you're getting the bad tenants in there, screening them out, getting definitely getting background checks. So the biggest thing is making sure you have the right property manager that you trust that's going to run that property well, and then price the property accordingly. That's my suggestion. And so I make sure I can afford the property manager before I buy the property. And that $250 is a good buffer in case there's something wrong, because that's $3,000 a year in passive income. So hopefully that answers your question.
Yeah. Finding the right team makes all the difference. I have personal experience with that. No doubt about it. It'll cost you more if you don't have the right team. They won't get things done, and repairs don't get done. You don't find tenants, vacancies. Oh, painful. All right. So Joyce is asking, she wants to turn her 2-bedroom townhome with a rental, but is concerned about HOA. Do you recommend townhomes, homes with HOAs? What's your experience with HOAs?
Well, number one, I'm not a big fan of condos. HOAs aren't bad as long as you know the docs before, CCNRs before you actually buy the property. I'm not a big fan of condos in general, just because all the different, I like having control and other people can't have control. But let's say you already have one or you found a great deal, then that could be a great thing. Now, big thing, read the HOA doc, the CCNRs, making sure that you can rent it out either short term, mid-term, which is like traveling executives, traveling nurses, or long term. Make sure you can actually do that. Now, my opinion with HOA, they cannot go above and beyond the docs. So the CCNRs, I can't remember what that stands for, but that's their documents that they have. They cannot just say, well, you can't have that. Well, it's not the CSCNRs. Well, we just are making it up. No, they can't. They have to literally follow those. So I think it's a good idea. If you already have a property, the best thing you could do is try and read those docs, even go to your home. I'm the what is it, the president of my HOA in my home, for my home area, and nobody goes to those. And I'm just literally, it's me by myself doing the meeting with the property management company, and it's me. But when somebody comes and they have an issue, they can talk to me, and you can talk to the board, and they can actually create exemptions that they need to. If there's a problem in the CCNRs that you can't, like they're blocking, literally meet with them and talk to them. But I think it's a good idea. The one big thing, though, the caveat is the CCNRs, they cannot go above and beyond or change it unless they go through and get votes and everything like that. So I think it's a good idea, but finding a property manager is really what's going to help you the most too.
Yeah, and I guess it depends on the cost of the HOA, things like that. I've used them for rentals and they've been fine. Actually helps because they take care of stuff sometimes, but I think can be prohibitive too. So you're right. It's find the right spot. Your experts. I agree. All right. So another question from Joyce. This is about Section 8 housing. How do we get rental qualified for government housing assistance?
Oh,
Or do you?
that's actually very, very simple. And I'll be completely honest, I love Section 8. Some
Mhm.
people might have, I don't like Section 8, or they don't really even know, but it's beautiful. The government pays your rent because they're going to get it anyway. So, hey, might as well have the government pay your rent. It comes regularly, like clockwork. It's so fantastic. That's number one. Number two, that Section 8, the government literally checks on your property to make sure the tenants are taking care of that property. If they're not, they're going to lose their voucher, which they don't. So they take care of the property. Number three, they are actively making sure your property is in good order. So you're gonna have to fix it up, but you're gonna have to make it look good. So getting your question, what you do is number of different things. Number one, finding a right tenant. You have to put on your listing. You just let people know, willing to take Section 8. That's all you have to say. We'll take Section 8 as well. Then you call up the Section 8 housing. Every city, every county is going to have a different name for what that is. I'm sure you could quickly look it up. Look up Section 8 in whatever city, let's say Memphis, Tennessee, Section 8, Memphis, Tennessee. You'll find the department. You call them up and you say, I would like to have my property be approved for Section 8. Great. They'll say, here's a form, fill this out, get everything fixed up. Here's a list of types of things you need to fix up. They'll have an inspection. Inspector goes out, doesn't cost you anything. They go through and make sure the paint's not cracking and chipping off and all that sort of stuff. Then they'll give you a list of things that need to get fixed up. Then you fix that up. They go back and reapprove it or inspect it. Then they approve it. And then you are approved as a Section 8 house that can take those vouchers. You can take them at any time. Meaning you can receive them saying, I have this application, but they cannot actually give you money until you're actually approved by the Section 8. Super simple. If you hire a property manager, they should easily be able to take care of that.
That's cool. And we actually have had a lot of students over the years that have done just strictly, that's been their strategy, is just Section 8 housing, and it's done fantastic for them. So kind of cool. All right, how do you actively build the business with little personal cash flow? What's recommended approach to saving up or collaborating and building the business until you have more liquid funds?
Oh, got it. So if I understand the question is basically asking, how do you build the business and afford people in the business? It seems like that's
no
the
money.
question.
Yeah, if you have no cash flow to get started, nothing to start with.
Here's the great thing. Like if you're going to start a convenience store, you have a lot of money going out. Totally different. Real estate investing, there's no money going out at the beginning because the property manager, they are literally wanting your business. So you call them and say, hey, I'm looking at this property. Tell me about it. They're going to give you that information for free. Realtors, they only get paid when they sell a property. Property managers, they get paid when they manage the property. Inspectors, when you buy the property, in the process, that's when you get the inspector out there. That's when you pay them. So everything is literally transactional. It's not like you're hiring somebody you could hire a virtual assistant if you wanted to. You don't need that. Literally do all yourself. I'll show you how to do all yourself. And I even have calculators. I have a green light deal analyzer. Actually, it's called the 1 minute green light deal analyzer. The reason why is because it takes literally a minute to put in your information. And then it has 5 criteria that we look at as master passive income for our properties. And it's green light, red light. If it's green, if it's all 5 are green, it's a great property. So you do not need money to hire people. When I say build the business, you're finding the right people in your business that you're already going to call them. Even let's say an accountant. Well, you call them up. You're not paying them to do your taxes right then and there. It's only when you're actually using them. So everything in your business is transactional. Property managers, realtors, everybody is transactional. So you don't need a lot of money to start.
Okay. And then if you find the right property manager, do you have them drive by? And if so, how often?
Oh, so I personally, once a year is usually pretty good. And so honestly, what it comes down to is finding the right tenants. You need to screen your tenants. If you're not doing background checks, do not put a tenant in there if you do not do a background check, and do not put a tenant in there if they have any evictions on their background. Do not put them in there. Trust me. Oh, it looks good. We need to get right. Trust me. It's just going to make it worse. So my suggestion is with that property manager, what you're going to wait. So I literally went off track. What was the question again?
No, just asking about how often you have your property manager drive by, and should you?
So so the finding the right tenant first, they're going to make sure to take care of the property, and then having your property manager go by. At most once a year, like literally once a year. That's really what it comes down to. You can have it contracted where your property manager may, let's say $50, will go by the house every 6 months. You could absolutely do that. I don't necessarily, because usually the properties are taken care of. We get good, decent tenants in there, but it's up to you. It really is. I think every 6 months is probably the maximum that I would do. Definitely once a month. You'll be bothering the tenants. Plus, property manager doesn't want to do that. So at most, once every 6 months.
Yeah, I agree with that. My experience, same thing. Yeah, you don't need to do more than that. It's just find a good person. If they're paying rent, generally they're taking care of the property because they're consistent on rent. That's anyway.
Well, one other quick thing too.
Yeah.
One other really quick thing. So if you if you find the right tenants that go in there, and your property manager conveying to them, if there's any problem whatsoever, if there's a tiny leak, if tiny drip, if the paint's cracked, whatever, You call me. We need to know that so that we can take care of it. That is the best thing. An ounce of prevention is worth more than a pound of cure. I guess that's what the saying is. So
For sure.
you want them, yeah, you want your property manager to convey that we need you to tell us whenever there's anything wrong so we can take care of it, because you don't want a drip to turn into a flood.
Yeah. And if they're super responsive, it gets done. That's nice.
Totally.
All right. What's your process then to vet good tenants?
Oh, love that question, because your tenants are really, I mean, they're your customers. So the process is, I'm gonna give you principles. So I love families. I talked about this earlier. I love when families are renting. And with that, we want to find families, but we're not, discriminating or anything like that. We just are selective. So, background check. Do they have a decent credit score? That's a big one. Decent meaning 550 and above, especially Section 8. If they get down to like, 350, 400, like that's pretty low. You never know what you're going to get. But no evictions, number one. Number two, decent credit score. Number three, having your property manager, even if they're looking at the house, the tenant is looking at a house with the property manager, have the property manager peek inside the car and say, is the car actually clean inside, or is it literally a mess? Some property managers, we can even have them sign the lease at their resident, the tenants where they're moving from, go there. If that place looks messed up, then you probably don't want them to rent. So here are my things. Single teen or not teen, like college students and single males, never invest. I never rented them. They can move. They have a microwave and a bed and a refrigerator. They'll leave that and go someplace else. So I don't do that. But I love. It's kind of funny to say this. Families and old ladies. Old ladies are fantastic. They don't move and they're going to keep paying rent because they like the place. You take care of it. But yeah, so those are my main criteria. But here's a big thing. If you find the right property manager, they're also going to get a sense when they're talking to the tenants, and they're going to get a sense like, is this a good tenant or not? I get my property managers all the time saying, hey, Dustin, here's the list of three. Here are my thoughts on each one. Great. Let's go with those.
Yeah, a good property manager is going to know. So that's awesome. I love it. Good team, good people. Okay, several questions on this. They're saying, so why not just do syndications?
Oh, so love that question. And here's many reasons why. So so I invest in multifamilies and residential. Multifamily being syndication. So if you don't know what syndication is, you're investing in a commercial property, multifamily apartment complex, something like that, where you're parking your money in a property and you're hopefully making passive income. Well, here's the thing. When you're giving money, if you have a lot of money and you need to put that money someplace, that's totally great. Don't get me wrong, that's great. But what you're doing is you're leaving so much money on the table, meaning if you put that money into properties, remember the 6 different ways that you make money? Well, you're going to be making so much more money in property management, or not, in a property that is a residential. And here's the big thing: why I don't like syndications is because every 3 to 5 years they exit that property, and the reason why is because the commercial loans make them have to actually get out of the property or refinance and cost a lot of money, get a higher interest rate, and so I want these properties to be generational wealth. Now, don't get me wrong, I still invest in syndications, but I also make sure that bulk of my money is inside residential. So I don't like, and but so with the selling every 3 to 5 years, you have to do it over and over and over again. And I kid you not, the people that are doing syndications that are, hey, come invest with me, there a lot of my friends. I'm saying this in a loving way, but they're salesmen. They're selling a deal to you to invest in, and they make money. Now, here's the bad thing. On top of all of this, eventually somebody's going to get stuck holding the ball with this. Let's say the market crashes like 2008. Not saying if it will, but if it does, eventually there's going to be a top in the market. This is what happens. Multifamily syndicator gets a lot of investors to buy here. This is the high price. Then they make it worth more, or they think it's worth more. Then another syndicator gets it up here, and then they get a lot of investors here, and then another syndicator gets it. So it's a keep climbing up. Eventually, it's gonna be the top, and eventually somebody's gonna get stuck holding that. So I don't want to get stuck holding that. I want to make sure I'm making money every single month. So those are my reasons why I don't like syndications, but I still do invest in them, knowing that's. But like I'd say, 90% of my portfolio is in residential. If you have a lot of money, syndications are fantastic, but eventually you might get stuck holding the ball.
Yeah, it's just a way to diversify. It's a lot of, we do syndications in the past too. I agree with you, but I also have real estate. So it's a way to diversify. I
and
love it.
and,
Great.
and it's also generational. Like all of my
Yeah.
properties, I will literally give 30 plus all of my 30 plus properties to my kids. Now my hotels I invest in, I can't give those because they'll be done in like 4 years. I'll get my money back, and so that's why a number of different reasons why I believe residential is one of the best ways. But there's lots of
That's
asset
cool.
classes out there.
Okay. All right. Okay. So someone's asking specifically about the classes and the coaching you offer here. What's included for the $149 a month?
So you get you with the join fee, that's your first month. Then the second month is $149. You get all of the quickly go back to, let's see if I can go back to where it's at. So all the courses. So you can see all the courses down there at the bottom left. All the courses, and these are, I mean, people like Ultimate Real Estate Investing System, literally my master class, people are paying $3,000 just for that course if they wanted just the course without the coaching. But they get all the courses. That's where all the teaching comes in. Then you also get group coaching with me where I will literally be on the call. And I usually, as best I can, try to go through everybody's questions, getting them over the hurdles. And then you get the student success program, which is our community and our way to help people to catapult them into success. So you get all of these things combined together in the one low fee of $149 a month.
It's really cool. I really like this, Dustin, because you include kind of like the whole kit and caboodle, as it were. It's really neat for someone who has no experience at all. Can you go do real estate on your own and buy it out there and figure it out eventually? Yeah, but it's very expensive. I've been there, done that. It's very, very expensive, and if you don't have the right people helping you, it can cost a ton of money. So this is kind of a shortcut, and
Well,
gosh,
on
it's
top of that,
reasonable.
like, yeah, you're 100% right, Kendall. But here's the thing: you're going to pay if you're going to do this. You're going to pay either one of two ways: with your time or with your
Yep.
money. So, giving you an
Yep.
example of that, if you want to do it your own, I did it myself, and it took me 9 years and lots of lost money because I just did it myself.
Yeah.
9 years. I would give $149 a month for, let's say, a year to get
All day,
those like 4 or 5 years back. So this
every
is
day.
this is a fast track. Now, time is the one commodity that you always spend but never make any more of. How
Yeah.
much better would it be if you spend some time, or spend some money, get that time back, and now let's, because my students are literally, I'm not saying everybody will do this, but 3 to 5 years, that's when my students are financially independent in 3 to 5 years. And with that, they now literally have all their life back. And here's another thing. If you think about this, if you buy one rental property that makes you $250 a month, well, that literally covers this entire thing every single month. And then I help you to buy more and more properties, scale your business to 30, 40, 50 properties. It You're going to pay for college. You can easily pay for this.
Well, and it's interesting too. What do they say? More millionaires are created through real estate than anything else. We know that. Done. And number two, the best way to create wealth is to follow someone who's done it successfully. Find a mentor. No question about it. That is the way to do it. The shortcut, find someone who's done it. Dustin, you have. So very cool. I love it. All right, you got a few more minutes. That's a few more, Dustin.
Sure do.
All right. Okay. So you mentioned the property management company was stealing from you on your first property. How do you verify? That's a tricky one now. You probably have that one dialed in now,
The best way, and remember, gave you a little
huh?
analogy or example. If you're going to start a convenience store, you're not just grab somebody across the street and say, "Come manage my property." What you would do is you would interview many, many people before you hired any of them, and you'd interview them many times. So minimum 5 different property managers, interviewing them a minimum of 3 different times each. So that's a lot of phone calls. That, remember, I said it's the hardest part is building the business. But how much better is it if you take this time now before you buy a property, before you get a property manager, rather than later on you have a few properties and this property manager goes bad on you like it did for me, and then you have to hustle or start pulling your hair out because it's really bad, you're losing money, and then hustle to find somebody else and then hope to find somebody. So what we do, criteria here, I'm gonna give you a broad overview. I love giving principles. So communication's number one. If they can't communicate with me very well or in a timely manner, they're not good enough. I'll give you a quick example. If they can't call me back, if I call them and they can't call me back within 24 hours, that is no good. In fact,
Done.
if you're interviewing somebody and they're going to be your property manager before they have your money, if they're not good at calling you back before they have your money, imagine when they have your money. Oh, this guy Dustin again. I already have his money. I'm not going to boop and ghosted. And so you want to make sure you have the right. So communication is number one. Trustworthiness. I believe most people have a decent sense of somebody. If they're a shyster, if they are, they don't know what they're talking about, they don't have experience just from talking on the phone. Texting is not interviewing, email is not interviewing, phone call is interviewing. So definitely do that. Zoom, property managers, they don't have time to get on Zoom. There's phone calls. Last one is experience and ability. So communication, trustworthiness, and ability. Do they know how to actually do it? Do they sound like they're competent? Do they have a lot of other landlords? And can they give you references? So above all, and honestly, like with my ultimate real estate investing system, I have 20 plus questions and answers to ask your property managers so that you are actually going to know the questions, know the answers before you actively hire somebody.
Very cool. Okay, I love that. All right, now this is a good question. I love this one. This is, I think, on a lot of people's minds right now with inflation, all that stuff happening right now, high interest rates. Okay, so looking at high interest rates, the cost of property management, all that stuff. A lot of the properties this person's been looking at say they haven't been able to make it work. The numbers just don't work because high interest rates, high property costs. How are you making it work right now with the high costs?
So great idea. And thinking about the interest rates, that's only one criteria or one factor in how we buy properties. So, couple things. Number one, we need to buy the properties for less because for us, remember that candy bar analogy? We're not going to overspend for a candy bar to sell it for $2 to sell it for $1. We're not going to do that. So we need to get the properties lower in price, purchasing. And those price to us as investors, it's only worth whatever it is that we can then make $250 a month in passive income. Meaning, let's say they're asking $150,000 in the Midwest, and there are homes that sell for $150,000. In the Midwest, you find a house, they're asking $150,000, but you run your numbers and you see that only $108,000, that's the most with the interest rates, with the mortgage, that I can afford this property. Well, we do not go above that because it's just like overpaying for the candy bar. With that, we need to be a little more aggressive. Aggressive is not the right word. Creative in finding deals. Right now, it's not the easiest time to find deals, but I kid you not, my students are. Pernith is one of my students. He just started coaching for 2 years. He was trying to invest and he didn't invest. In July, he started working with me. And in 2 months, he literally had his first property under contract. And then his next property came within, I want to say 6 weeks. It was so fast. And now he literally has 6 units, like I think two duplexes and single family homes, making like $4,000 a month in passive income. And so we need to be creative. It could be direct mail. It could be, there are sadly, people get phone calls that say, hey, we want to buy your property. That works as well. If you talk to other investors, see if they're selling, talk to property managers. Like you want to get other people, other off market properties. But honestly, direct mail has been working really, really well. So that's number one, is getting more creative in finding those properties. Now in financing, totally. If you remember that big list that I had where you like say private money lenders to HELOCs, you need to get creative in your financing. So with that, let's say you found a property and they want to do seller financing. That's a great way. Seller financing, they the bank, you pay them a monthly payment. There are so many different ways. And that's something I love with my students, doing for my students, is giving them options. They say the problem is I can't find properties. Well, do X, Y, Z, and more, and so on. These are how you get it past that. Or I can't have financing. Well, here's all your options. You pick the best for you.
Oh, very cool. And the thing is, you always know, always at the end of the day, there are always people who want to sell, always distressed or otherwise. And there's always people who need a property, period. End of story. You just got to marry those together and you can make it happen. I love it.
Everybody needs a place to live. That's for sure.
Always. Okay. And a few more questions about the program. So, how long is the commitment? Is there, excuse me, for the $149 a month? Is there a commitment guarantee, thing like that?
Absolutely no commitment whatsoever. You can join and then cancel right away. That's totally fine. I'm in this to help people, and so if you want to join, you literally watch all the courses. Join one coaching call and cancel. There's no commitment whatsoever. I literally do this for fun, and in fact, Kendall, you'll appreciate this. So, I was when I first got started, I started just selling courses. And it was fine, selling courses, but I make my money through real estate. This wasn't a way to make money. It was a way to help people. So I was selling courses, but I kid you not, I was about to give up. on master passive income and courses because it was so boring and I wasn't affecting people's lives. I couldn't see them change. So what I did was I said, I need to get into people's lives, my students' lives, and be there with them, celebrate their wins. I get fulfillment when they buy their first property or 10th property or scale to be financially independent. So creating this membership was my way to actively get in my students' lives to see them succeed. So if somebody bought a course, it's like a 20% success rate, just the course, just alone, because it has all the information, but life gets in the way and they don't finish it. But when you are in the membership, you have me, you have the hundreds of other students, you have access to all the courses, and you have the group coaching and Slack. We have a community in Slack where all of my students and coaches are in there coaching each other. All this helps. We have like an 85% rate of success of all my students that go through the membership. And so that's really the best way that I've seen, because I've tried many other ways to get people to invest in real estate. This is the best way. You have skin in the game. Every single month you're paying, so it makes you think, I better get this done. In fact, you might see this guitar in the background here. When I started learning how to play the guitar, I bought the most expensive guitar ever, because if I would have bought $100 guitar, I wouldn't play it. It wouldn't sound well. It'd be hard to learn and wouldn't sound good. I bought a really expensive one because I knew if that was underneath my bed, I would make sure that I get out and play it. Plus, it sounded better. It fast tracked me to success. So that's what you get for $149 a month. And with that, I would say no commitments. But honestly, I'm gonna give you that guarantee. I think I have that guarantee up there. So yeah, the guarantee I'm giving you is within 90 days that you're gonna get your first property under contract. If not, we will literally work with you and help you to get that first property. We're not going to do it for you. Don't get me wrong. You're going to do it yourself, but we're going to be there with you every step of the way.
Oh, that's exciting. See, I love that. If you're helping people actually get real estate, I mean, that snowballs into wealth, guys. It really, really does. If you have a job right now, this is an easy side gig. It really isn't that bad. Once you get started, it's really not that hard. You get more and more and more properties, and just that wealth just compounds over time. The tax strategies make it even better. Oh, speaking my language, Dustin, I love this.
Awesome.
All right. So a few questions about other than rentals, are there other types of real estate transactions that you actually get involved with?
I
Like
need a little more
multifamily,
example
things
with
like
it.
that, probably.
I'm sorry, say again.
Probably like multifamily, other types of real estate rather than just
Oh,
residential.
I love all real estate. I love all real
Hmm.
estate. Now, I'm an expert, even more. I'm a master. That's why I created master passive income. You buy one rental property, you've mastered passive income because it keeps working for you. So I try to help everybody to master it. So residential, fantastic. Bread and butter, do it in my sleep. It's so easy for me. But I love all types of asset classes. I'm trying to get into storage facilities now. That's a great, especially if there's a recession, people need places to store stuff. So yes, getting in there. Short-term properties, even land investing, syndications. Yes to all of the above. And the great, no, here's the key. And this is honestly a reason why I built my conference, the Real Estate Wealth Builders Conference, which you guys, Protect Wealth, is going to be at and teaching there as well. So the conference is a no sales pitch conference. It's not like, hey, run to the back. It's literally the opposite of that, where we're teaching. But I have 40 plus of my friends that are expert investors, syndicators, land investors, storage facilities, like you name it, all the above, that are coming to teach literally out of the goodness of their heart. They want to come help and teach people. And so with that, I have experts. So what I suggest, if you're going to do anything, any asset class, get around the expert that you trust, that hey, this person sounds good. I like how they say it and what they say, and work with them, because there's so many different ways to do it. But my opinion, if you can fast track it by having an expert show you how to do it, that's the best way to go.
Very cool. Okay, so a few more questions on the actual coaching itself. So how often is it coaching? What day, what time, for example, and how do I get my questions answered quickly?
Yeah. So, question answered quickly. I'll start with that one first. We have our Slack community instead of emails and all that sort of stuff. It's actually ongoing conversations. We have different channels in there, basically, financing channel to building the business channel, all that sort of stuff, finding properties. So you would ask your questions in there, and other students that have literally been successful, been in there. I have students literally in there for years that's still in the community because they value the community and all the help they get. So that's how you get your answers quickly. Plus, myself and my coaches are in there as well. Now, with the group coaching, it's once a month for 90 minutes. Once a month, it's on the first Thursday of the month at 5:30 p.m. Pacific, 8:30 p.m. Eastern time. And Usually we get through everybody's questions. Literally, if somebody can't show up, they literally email me their question. So I answered it on the call. But the whole call is not me teaching anything. It's literally building a community of other investors and answering everybody's questions. So yes, that's how you're going to get all the access to everything, getting you held and you're accountable. Oh, I even do one more thing. In the student success program, I connect you with 4 or 5 other investors, and you guys are a mini mastermind where you guys meet on your own. You guys are helping each other out and connecting. There's so many more things inside this, but those are the big ways that you're going to be basically held accountable to keep moving forward.
Okay. All right. A few more questions here. Trista, yes, I saw your question. I just getting to it now. Good question. How can you explain more about automating? How does one get to the point where you're not having to micromanage your expert teams, and, just putting out their fires and mistakes all week? Are experts exceptionally well oiled and cause you no problems? How did you get there?
The biggest thing is, well, number one, I didn't get there right away. Like I didn't get there to start with. I literally had to figure this out. So you're not by yourself. We all get there or are there, and then we grow out of that. So first one is hiring the right people. I mean, I said this before, but when you hire the right people that are trustworthy, that communicate well, that prove that they can actually do it, they're worth their weight in gold. With that, from there, you literally tell them, like let's say your property managers or your contractors. So well, let me finish that thought. There's another thought about how to check on each other, which I'll get to in just a second. So your property manager, what you want to do is, when you're making sure that they're having the right systems, procedures, and processes, what I tell my property managers is how you handle all the other landlords that you work for, because the tenants are not the property manager's customers. You, the landlord, are their customer. The tenants are our customers. They take care of us. They don't do what the tenant says, they do what we tell them to do. With that, what we do is with the property manager is we make sure that as we are working with them, we say, no matter how you work with any other landlord, my properties, this is what you do, X, Y, and Z. You tell them all the different things in the business that you want them to do. Like I said, rent's due on the first, late after the third, fourth, late fee, all that sort of start the eviction process. And we give them these systems and procedures and processes. Now, as far as like technology, property managers already have technology, usually inside that's already all set up. That's like, systems. And with that, you just give them all this criteria. Now, to check on each other, I love this. I came up with this because I was rehabbing a property in Houston. Never been to Houston, bought it, rehabbing it myself, meaning getting other people to do the work, but checking on all of them. What we do is utilize other people to check on other people's work. I even did this recently when my property manager was not doing very well this last, 3 months ago. I utilize other people to check on their work. Let me give you an example. So I had a sliding glass door in that Houston property that wasn't working well. And somebody said, or like the property manager said, you have to get it replaced. It's just not working. I'm like, shoot, okay. So I got a glass company, installed the glass door, the sliding glass door. And at the time, I didn't have a property manager because it was actually getting rehabbed. So I had it was a lawn guy. Yeah, I had a lawn guy. No, sorry, it was a plumber. I had a plumber going in and fixing something in the toilet. It's one of the toilets, and I said, "Hey, plumber," I call him up, and could you go and check this sliding glass door was just replaced? Can you open it and close it and just look at it? Does it look good? Take a couple pictures of it for me. It'll take you literally like 2 minutes. Can you do that for me? I'm like, oh, sure, no problem. They're already in the place. So just give you an example of utilizing other experts to make sure that your expert that you're counting on is doing the right thing. And you can do this with every single, like having 5 people check on one person's work. But honestly, what it really comes down to is hiring the right people and then dictating to them how they do their business. And if they don't do it right, you fire them right away. Remember, hire slow and fire fast.
Beautiful. All right. So we got 5 questions. We got 5 minutes. So a question a minute. How about that? We good?
Yep, let's do it. I'll fast.
Bring it on. All right, Joanna, how do you know where there is high rental demand, and are there tools you use for that?
So as far as demand, I don't look for demand. I look for the city that has actual properties for rent. Now, if you want to look for if there is demand, because it's kind of hard to know if there are, let's say, 100 people and that are looking for, you don't really know that. But what you look for is how many properties are for rent and for sale. Zillow, click rent or for sale, and that'll tell you how many properties are for rent, how many properties are for sale. But a big way would be calling up property managers or realtors and asking them, because remember, they're the experts. Call them up
Yeah.
and ask them about demand. Hey, is our rents going up? Our rents going down? That's what I would do.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Property managers who work with investors, they know exactly what's going on. If they know what they're doing, they can get to you pretty quick. It's pretty cool. All right, Vera, if you're a company slash LLC, are you charged a higher interest rate on your mortgage?
Oh, so I guess there's a couple different parts to that. If you're buying a residential, most banks, if you get a conventional loan, it has to be in your name. They're not going to let you put it in the bank or the company's name unless you get another loan, which is a DSCR loan, a debt service coverage ratio, when it's a business loan. Then yes, you'll get higher interest rates. Businesses in general will get higher interest rates. If you get a conventional loan, it's lower rates because it's under your name. If you get a commercial loan or a DSCR loan, which I teach my students how to do all this stuff, but those will be higher interest rates. So yes, you're going to have to pay higher. But here's the thought: you're not paying that. You do not buy a property if it's going to cost you money. You're going to make sure that it's going to be accounted for before you buy the property. So if you know you're going to have this expense for it, that's because it's a business loan, then make sure you buy the property that accounts for that.
Yeah, if the numbers work, make it happen. And a lot of companies now, especially banks, they want to see an LLC a lot of times if you're investing. So
Yep.
there's a lot of strategies out there that's not the same old as banking as it was 10 years ago. LLCs are good. All right, Joseph, what's the percentage profit return on investment when if your capital's making sense? When you say minimum 250 months per property, that's hard. I guess depends on the property, right?
Well, for me, every single property, I do not buy it unless I make a minimum of $250. That's like
Yeah.
blanket. Yeah. So that's number one. Now, I help me to understand the question a little bit more.
Yeah, what's the percent of the profit or the return on investments? Like, so
Oh,
you're putting in capital, what's the
got it.
ROI? It's hard to say, right?
Yes. So I'll be completely honest. I am not a numbers person. If you're a numbers person, you're much better off than me, but I'm not a numbers person. So, like, from ROI to cap rates and all that sort of stuff, let me give you the principle. I want to buy a property for as low a price as possible with the most amount of rent as possible and the least amount of money out of my pocket. Let me give you a quick example. I don't want to buy a $500,000 house and only make $250 a month in passive income. Well, that mortgage, if it's not rented for 1 month, that literally eats up your entire year of passive income. What are you going to feed your family with? You're not. So we're going to be looking for prices of homes that are much lower, that have a lower amount of mortgage and as little money out of our pocket. So there are plenty of ways to buy properties with no money down, like none of your own hard-earned dollars. That's infinite return. So what I like to say is look for good properties, and the Midwest is great right now. 75,000 to maybe $150,000, making $250 a month, you're going to do really well.
Yeah, and that's the minimum. I mean, you can probably make, five, six, seven, $800 a
Oh,
month. I mean,
oh,
depending on what you do.
absolutely. No, that's the minimum. Like the
Yeah.
properties I bought back in 2006, I'm making like $700 or $800 a month in passive income because rents just keep going up.
Yep. Same thing. I love it. Okay. Lorene, why is it hard lately to find insurance policies on multi-level properties? Hmm.
Oh, so it's not just multifamily or multi-level properties. It's all properties right now. Insurance is really, really rough. So when you are going to be buying a property, double and triple check your insurance. My insurance on one of my Houston properties literally doubled over because it's so bad. So what's sad about insurance? It's if there's a lot of dollars coming out of the insurance company, they spread out to all the other companies. Or homes. I've never had a claim, but my insurance doubled. So it's hard right now. Actually, all insurance right now is really, really rough. So and I do have a bunch of contacts in the student community. We even have areas of the country to invest. Like, where do I invest? I have students that have literally figured it out. We put it inside the system or the course so that people can say, hey, somebody's already doing that. Or they're already using this property manager. So we have lists of everything. We have all the stuff already planned out for you. So you just got to pick and choose what you want. But insurance is really rough right now.
Yeah, and you can either call every insurance company in the area, or someone's already doing it, and you know who they are, Dustin. I love that. That's great.
I'm going to go ahead and
It's
stop
true.
sharing, but go ahead.
No, last question. Do you use home equity loans or make improvements or repairs on the property?
Yes,
Do you use
yes, and
home
yes.
HELOCs to make repairs? There we go.
Absolutely. In fact, I'll give you another bigger thing. So on my home that I live in, I have plenty of equity. I'm blessed to have it paid off. It's free and clear. I got a home equity line of credit on it, $250,000. It's like the most I can get, but I have it now as access to capital. That's the key, especially in this a great time that's going to be coming for investing. I think right now is going to be the best time to invest in the next 5 years. It's going to be amazing to invest, but you need to have access to capital so you can buy these properties. home equity line of credit is just one great access to capital. If you have a 401k, we can use that to invest. You name it, we can do it. And so I absolutely think you have as much access to capital as possible.
Booyah. I love it. Okay. One question popped in. Do you have any students in Charlotte? I bet you do.
I do. I do. In fact, he is one of actually, I'll say it this way. One student was the most successful, and he was like, Dustin, I want to help out at Master Passive Income. I'm like, sure. So he started helping out as community manager, with the community, Facebook and all that sort of stuff, Slack community. And then he started helping people. And now he's one of my coaches here at Master Passive Income. His name's Charles Rose Jr. Fantastic guy. But yes, in Charlotte, he's actually down there. And Marlon Smith, he's actually speaking at RubeCon. He is a public speaker for Tony Robbins, and he's a friend of mine, and he's coming and speaking. Anyways, lots of people in Charlotte. So yes.
It's been a great market last couple of years. So that's awesome. Okay, Dustin, I love it. Thank you for your passion. I appreciate it. I can tell you're a guy that has heart and really wants to help people have success. That's what we're all about at Protect Wealth Academy. We really do want you guys to succeed. There are shortcuts sometimes, right? Yes, you have to go and do the work. Yes, you do. But if you find the right people who are doing it, like Dustin and his team, we absolutely endorse it. We love it. That's so awesome. Thank you so much for your time today, Dustin.
Thanks for having me, guys.